All right, I think it's finally time to admit it. Y'all were right. Every single time that I come on this platform and make a video about the USC Trojans, every single person says Lincoln Riley is a hoax. He's not the real savior of USC football. And I tried. I really did try. I gave him a chance. I really tried to hold out faith, but honestly, I'm gonna keep on holding out faith. But you guys thought I was gonna give up on my coach? Come on, stop playing. But we do need to seriously sit down and talk about what's going on. USC is currently 7-5, losing 5 of their last 6 games, and we just lost to UCLA 38-20 at home. Our offense is stale. We can't run the ball to save our life. We have absolutely no run support at all. And the only reason why this season hasn't been worse is because we have arguably the greatest quarterback that we have ever had at the helm, saving us game in and game out. USC has lost to every single ranked team that we have played this season. We've given up more than 200 rushing yards in more than 70% of our games. And at the end of the day, as great as Caleb Williams is, he can only play so well because we have one of the worst offensive lines in college football. And with USC barely being bowl eligible, we just lost our final game in the Pac-12 to our rival before heading to the Big Ten. We just got rid of our defensive coordinator. Lincoln Riley's going into his 3rd prove-it year season. We're heading to the Big Ten if I didn't mention that. Seriously, let's have a conversation. What as USC fans are we to expect from our Trojans next year? So let's put this season behind us and focus on the 2024 season, and let's really take a look at what type of team is USC going to be fielding in 2024. So first and foremost, I know that everybody has been saying that, oh, if Caleb Williams doesn't get these teams to come and pick him, he's going to the NFL draft. I don't care what anybody says. We saw what happened with Jake Locker when he was a 1st-round talent and then decided to go back to Washington and then ended up being a late 1st-round guy. Like I think he was an early 2nd or late 1st-round guy. He's going top 3 picks of the NFL draft. Caleb Williams is gone. So we have 5-star recruit Malachi Nelson, who hasn't really gotten many snaps, and then 2-year backup Miller Moss. Now, Miller Moss has shown that he has a lot of potential. That is the one thing that Lincoln Riley will do year in and year out, is know how to develop quarterbacks. But that is a serious quarterback competition that we're going to be going into heading into next season. I mean, Malachi Nelson has all the talent in the world, but I don't know if you guys watched in the spring game. He didn't look that comfortable. Again, true freshman. This kid's like 18 years old, speed of the game. You know, there's a lot of pressure going around. I do think that, you know, another year in college football, he's going to be able to settle his nerves. But then Miller Moss has all the expectations of living up to what Caleb Williams was doing, making a name for himself, as well as either him or Malachi Nelson is going to be the first quarterback that's fed to the wolves of defenses. I mean, you literally have Wolverines over there in the Big Ten. So there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to have to happen. But the number one thing is this is the first time, unless we make some crazy move in the portal, which I don't even know if any like big name Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Jalen Milroe type, or not Jalen Milroe, Joe Milton type quarterbacks in the portal that we would be able to get over here. Like, we're really going to have to just stick with one of the quarterbacks that we have right now. We're not bringing a quarterback in so far in 2024. So there's just, the number one thing is that we need to continue to have great quarterback play, because as of right now, USC's offense is disgustingly stale. Because that's the area that I want to talk about next. We'll get to our defense. That has its own problems. But Lincoln Riley is supposed to be the offensive guru, the offensive genius of college football. He's supposed to be the Sean McVay, the Mike McDaniels of college football. And USC's offense is just, I understand that you have this generational talent at QB, but you need to be able to run the ball. USC is average like 50 yards a game in rushing. We average like less than 15 attempts per game. It is disgusting how little that USC is able to run. And with how much we pass, you would think that we would be able to run more effectively the times that we do, but we simply don't. We never establish the run. We never stick to the run. And the running backs and the running lanes that we have are simply not getting it done. I'm not going to blame it fully on the running backs, because our offensive line has been pitiful when it's come to try and making some running gaps. But USC, we need to be able to run the ball. I would go with a run first approach. Honestly, we know what Lincoln Riley can do with the all air raid, spread it out, get the ball out to your billions of wide receivers that we have. We know what we can do with that. We need to be able to establish the run. USC is not known as being a great defensive team. Do you want to know the way to get around not being a great defensive team? Run the ball, win the time of possession battle each and every single game. You're not going to win when you're scoring in 4.5 minutes and then giving the ball right back to the opposing team, because you're going to lose that shootout every single time, because you're going to go up against a defense that's going to be able to slow you down on just enough possessions to make it so that all of a sudden you can't catch up to them. And that's what's happened every single game for USC. Every single time that we go up against a ranked opponent, they just have to stop us twice and they win. Simple as that. They run the ball down our throats. They win the time of possession battle by 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes per game. Just absolutely just killing the clock, taking away any chance that we have of making a comeback by just running the ball. 4 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. Like literally USC cannot stop any single team from running the ball. Right now, USC's defense on average is giving up 183 rushing yards a game. That simply just cannot happen. Now, thankfully, we got rid of Alex Grinch. So that whole defensive staff, I'm pretty sure we're just going to do a complete clear out and just build from outside in, because as we've seen, inside out is not getting it done, and we need to get somebody else in there. Honestly, I don't want Lincoln Riley a part of that decision. I want the players to be a part of that decision, and I want somebody else to be a part of the decision to bring in a defensive coordinator, because Lincoln Riley, he stuck with this guy Alex Grinch for way too long because he was his friend and he thought he was going to do something. He never did. He had one good year. That was it. Move on. We need a defensive coordinator who is about getting big defensive linemen to stuff the middle and get pressure on the quarterback. Stop trying to get all these light 250-pound defensive linemen to go out there and try and win with speed. You're going to the Big Ten. It's one of the biggest conferences in all of college football. We need 6'4", 300-pound defensive linemen, absolutely manhandling offensive lines. Like, I don't understand why that's so difficult to understand. We need the biggest, most athletic guys that we can find, not these finesse technical dudes who are going to be able to, in theory, get you a bunch of sacks. Bear Alexander, he was a great addition for our team. Coming from Alabama, a team that knows what's up when it comes to recruiting defensive linemen, Bear Alexander's been a great addition to our team, plugging up the middle, causing havoc for the offensive linemen. All of our other transfers have not really panned out. Anthony Lucas was a 5-star recruit from Texas A&M that was supposed to be that guy. Didn't pan out to be him at all. I want y'all to take a quick look at USC's 2024 recruiting class. Are you guys seeing something that we're clearly lacking? We're only bringing in one defensive lineman in this class. We're bringing in one 3-star lineman, David Pelepele. That's it. We're also bringing in 4-star edge rusher Cameron Fountain, but again, that's not the players that we need. We need big-bodied defensive linemen. Now, thankfully, while we're here, let's take a look back at USC's 2024 recruiting class. We are bringing in 3 interior offensive linemen. We're bringing in the #1 interior offensive lineman in Jason Zandamela, who is 6'3", 285 pounds. We're also bringing in Makai Sena, who is 6'4", 290 pounds, and Justin Tuanu, who is 6'6", 285 pounds. Also forgot to mention, we are bringing in offensive tackle Hayden Treader, who is 6'6", 300 pounds. But of all those guys I just talked about, only one of them's a 4-star recruit. We are not recruiting heavily enough and putting our resources in the positions that we need. We'll bring in 50 corners, 4,000 wide receivers. We'll bring in 1 or 2 running backs. We'll bring in a safety. We'll bring in 2 linebackers to help sturdy up that defense. No. I want to get rid of all of our recruits that are not offensive and defensive linemen and just solely focus on that. We have 14,000 wide receivers. We'll be fine for another year. We have a billion corners who are all from true freshmen all the way up to 5th-year seniors. We'll be fine. We need defensive and offensive linemen. What is so hard to understand about that? Stop trying to get these finesse players, double down, recruit at the positions that we need, and get big. We're going to the Big Ten. Literally, USC is about to become a laughing stock. A laughing stock. we're about to be at the bottom of the barrel of the Big Ten because we can't run, we can't stop any team from running on us, we can't consistently get after the quarterback. And if our quarterback play slips even a little bit, USC's offense is in ruins. I mean, have you guys seen USC's offense recently? It's a bunch of quick throwouts to the outside, hoping that one of our wide receivers is able to make a play, and then Caleb Williams running around for his life and then making a Hail Mary play that only he can make. Miller Moss and Malachi Nelson can't make those plays right now. They might never be able to make a lot of those plays. They'll never be able to make. Like, let's just keep it a buck. A lot of those plays, they're never going to be able to make. We need a more sophisticated offense. We need to be able to run the ball. We need to have some play action. We need to have some intricate stuff across the middle. Like, what happened to all the flair of Lincoln Riley? Like, what happened? Maybe you guys are right. You know, hey, I said at the beginning of the video, I'm holding off hope and I'm going to be, you know, like saying, hey, I'm sticking with Lincoln Riley. But he has 2 more years for me. I'm gonna give him 1 more year where he can try again and find a better defensive coordinator, and then I'm gonna give that defensive coordinator another year to be able to fully develop his system. After that, that'll be year 5. If USC is not a top 10 team in the country come the end of the season, if we're not pushing for a college football playoff bid, if we're not pushing for a New Year's 6 game bid, I want him gone. I know that we paid him 11 years, 110. I believe it was 10 years, 110 million. Get rid of him. USC and Texas A&M are in the same position. Well, Texas A&M did what they had to do. Like, there needs to be some evidence. There needs to be some proof. What happened? We were a top 10 team in the country, and then we started playing some other decent teams, and then just pooped the bed. I'm not gonna get to this. This video is already being too ranty. I'm low-key scared because we're losing Caleb Williams. We're losing a bunch of other talent that we had that was just, you know, solid pieces around us. Are we gonna be able to keep half of our roster? Because most of those guys are probably gonna want to bounce, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Are we gonna be able to keep Malachi Nelson? He might lose the quarterback battle to Miller Moss and then dip. He might win the quarterback battle against Miller Moss and then just want to dip. It doesn't matter. Like, are we going to be able to find a decent defensive coordinator? There are a lot of questions that USC has to answer this upcoming offseason that it's just going to be a lot. All my USC Trojan fans, comment your thoughts down below. This has just been absolutely frustrating of a season. Oh my gosh, this season has been frustrating. Just disappointment after disappointment. Comment your thoughts down below. I love and appreciate all y'all. I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.